Take a Ride podcast. I'm your host here, Starks. You can find me on my Twitter handle. It's at Starks_industry. You can also find me on Instagram, One Closing Hero. This episode is interesting, you guys, because sometimes you got to record podcasts at different locations and different times. But I'm not here alone this evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be in the fantasy world. I have the two-man combo guard, the White Knight. Jacob, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing well, man. God is blessing with another day, so I can't complain, man. How are you doing, Starks?
I'm doing well, man. God is good indeed. And we got LT the Sage running the wing at 3. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. It's a Monday, but hey, you're the real MVP out here in the car in the snow, getting it done, man. So I'm all good. I'm ready to go now. All
right, guys. I'm ready to take people on for a ride.
All righty. Yeah. So we wanted to touch up on some recent news here. The first news, we wanted to go over the injuries here first. And we got to talk about the surprise of the year, and that's Brandon Ingram. He is undergoing an MRI on his knee. We don't know yet what that entails, but he tried to give it a go tonight, but his knee, it was tightening up. So we want to know if he's out for a short term or a long term, who can benefit in his absence. And I want to pass the ball to you there, Starks. Who do you think can benefit from there?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the pass. I was going to say this. Kendrick Williams will take a nice probably even soak up some use. Well, I wouldn't say usage, but I think he can get the head nod start. Or Josh Hart. Both of them would get the opportunity there in the Pelicans. And I'm going to be honest with you there, White Knight. I'm a little concerned because, it seemed like a little owie, as LT would say, but the situation at hand that kind of doesn't sit well with me is they needed to get an MRI. So if that is being, said out in the public at this point in time, that's a little concerning for me. Hopefully it's not as bad as what, we think it's minor, but it could potentially be long term. So obviously keep your eyes on it. And Kendrick Williams, from my understanding, again, as you guys know, I'm recording at a special location in a vehicle, had some technical difficulties, but I wanted to make sure that you guys get the content because you listeners deserve it and we love you guys. So I'm just going off on head knowledge here, and I can't even see some of the info on the screen, but I think he had 38 minutes from what I remembered here today. So with that being said, that's good for Kendrick Williams to have that many minutes. Now, he's not going to score a lot of points, but the steals and blocks and rebounds and percentages is something that's handy for you to have in your fantasy team, and that's lovely. And as far as Josh Hart, I think he did get the starting job today. And if he's available, because in any shallow league, he's a potential pickup because I know that he's strung along a bad game or two, and some people might have cut bait on him. But if he's available in a shallow league, you add him immediately. LT, I'll pass you the ball. What's your thoughts there, brother?
Yeah, for sure. So this is big. Why is this big? Because this is a team that Brandon Ingram was actually leading, right? He was the leading scorer. He was one of the leading shot taker. So that means that there's a lot of missing shots. I think about 17 or 18 shots that need to be divided up now. And hopefully for all of my Ingram lovers out there who picked them up later and was, riding him, unfortunately, hopefully he's okay. Hopefully this isn't a long-term thing. But two things that I see the most out of this is definitely Kendrick Williams. I actually picked them up ahead of time in one of my leagues because I thought it looked like his minutes were kind of bumping up a little bit, but it looks like, his minutes are definitely going to be high up there. Also, Josh Hart. Josh Hart's going to be another beneficiary. I actually cut bait with him in a couple of leagues. I actually had him. And I actually cut bait with him, so now I'm kind of kicking myself. I am. Josh Hart, he had 7 shots tonight, 2 steals. So, and like you stated, Starks, 38 minutes from Kenrich. He's putting in heavy minutes, so they're really going to be. Looks like they're going to be leaning on him to pretty much come in and take over that role. But the shots, he's not going to be taking all those shots, so it's going to be divvied up against everyone. And hopefully Ingram will come back, but I don't know. What do you think, White Knight?
And let me steal the ball real quick. If you can look at it, how many minutes did our guy Alexander Walker get tonight?
11.
And
I think potentially also he's a name to, just look at in a deeper format. But, that's what I wanted to at least say. And I'll pass you the ball there. Go ahead, White Knight.
You would think that Na would get a bunch of minutes in this game where they have to score against the fast-paced Rockets. So it didn't bode well that he didn't get the minutes tonight.
That is true.
But it could change from night to night. But like you guys said, it's going to be Josh Hart, who is going to get a lot of playing time, getting you those stock stats and taking those shots. As you can see, Redick took a ton of shots, basically all 3-pointers, and he scored most on the Pelicans team. So, if you need threes, he's going to be a monster for as long as Ingram's out, because there's a lot of shots, like LT was saying, to take for sure. So next here, I want to touch up on De'Aaron Fox. Man, this is a crushing blow. I'm about to go on a little bit of a complaint train in our listener league. I was already dealing with just a mess of injuries and Ayton and now Fox. And so I had to make the tough choice and cut Lamb to try to stream.
Oh man.
Unfortunate, but I have to do something, man. I'm drowning. So it's just unfortunate news. And now I'm curious, like, do we trust the backup point guard? I believe it's Corey Joseph. He hasn't gotten a ton of run, but they brought him over for a reason. A lot of experts thought that he would get some standalone value. That hasn't been the case, but now he'll get the keys to the car. So I'm going to pass the ball to you, LT. What do you think about the situation, and who do you think steps up in his absence? Because he'll be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. Who knows if he even returns in 3 to 4 weeks? So this could have some long-term effect there.
Yeah, this one's a tough one, fellas, because this is a grade 3. It looks like ankle sprain, and to my knowledge, Fox, that's his. He's an explosive player, right? So this is his. He's playing off that foot. He's fast. He needs that ankle. So that is worrying. They're going to probably play it real safe with their star point guard. So I like it that he's not going to be back in 3 to 4 weeks. They're probably going to take a little bit longer on him. So as far as who shows up. I'm going to bring back to a Raptor special. Corey Joseph. Corey Joseph is probably going to be the guy that takes over. I don't know. I'm going to have to eventually pass the rock over to Starks on my man Daquan Jeffries. That may be, yeah, exactly. But and then there's a Kyle guy. I don't know who these people are, but yeah, more than likely we're looking at Corey Joseph. And then we also are more than likely going to see more volume from Buddy Hield. I know we were just talking about him in our last podcast, but he's going to be soaking up a lot more volume. And I hate to say this, fellas, but Barnes and Noble is probably going to see the biggest difference here. He's going to be taking probably, absorbing those Fox shots, taking 3 to 4 more shots a game, just to catch up with what Fox was producing. So I'll pass the rock over to Starks to see if he has any ideas.
Yeah, real quick, just to go on an ISO. Again, it looks like we're in this episode again. You put me at the bottom of the screen, LT. I'm just trying to understand, Sage. I understand our rivalry still goes back then. You want to bring it into this episode. What is going on with this, man?
Hey man, I'm just trying to get this to work, man. I'm showing our listeners right now. I'll see, and then I'll put you away. All right, bring it back. All right, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Hey,
I think that's one of those fake glitches that make it seem like you're doing something, you're trying, but you're really not. But hey, that's cool. But let me get back at what's the matters at hand here. So Corey Joseph, it's unfortunate. He's been in the league for quite some time. I think he's more of a back end player, but I think he's worth a player that you're adding from the waiver wire. And I think from my understanding, he had like 28 minutes recently in particular. So that's something to kind of look at. I mean, you got to take when you need those spots as far as streaming goes, he can be that player. And as far as like the other guys and the guy, which his name is Guy, I'm not going to particularly care for them in particular, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can't hold value. But if you're going to need an immediate ad, that's him. And for those shallow leagues from the top of my head as well, too, someone that comes to my mind is Tubog, right? If he's available in your leagues, he's going to get a nice usage rate bump up. And I know he was one of those players that kind of complained coming off the bench or not even getting enough minutes. This is his time to shine, and he's going to get a nice boost in value. And another player, I know you had mentioned Barnes and Noble. There was someone else that, yes, Buddy Hield, we could talk about him. Now, the thing is, with his usage rate, it's going to come up. But what's concerning is, you would think if he pumps up the volume, he would miss a lot of shots. But here's your cheat code from what a stat line that I think I kind of looked over. I can't remember exactly what the stat line was, but he actually shot a little bit better without De'Aaron Fox on the court. So that is an interesting stat line. You would think you would need you think you would need De'Aaron Fox to be on the court to open up the shots for Buddy Hield to be the true shooter percentage of player that he could be, but he was a little bit better without De'Aaron Fox on the court as far as shooting goes. So that's going to be something to see. I don't know if that is something that's going to hold true, but I'll say that is something interesting that you can take in consideration. But I think the biggest winner here is Tubog.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was chomping at the bit to say that, so I'm glad that you said that, because Tubog, Bogdan squared, whatever you want to call him, he's about to get a huge spike. So if he is available in points or a 9-cat, definitely pick him up following this news. And it's just such a shame that Bagley's out and Fox is out. Like, that's their future, and now they have. But now a bunch of minutes are opening up, and I can definitely see Nemanja Bjelica getting. Oh, thank you.
No problem.
He's going to get some even more minutes as well.
That's true.
As Ariza's going to get a few more minutes. I know that's Lewis's boy right there. So I'm sure.
The
Aristocats, right? Yeah, there it is.
But yeah, definitely. I think we touched up on that. All right. So next news, we're going to touch up on just a quick update. Gordon Hayward's going to miss 6 weeks. It's a crushing blow for all fantasy. I don't need to say that again. I mean, he was having such a prime year, like prime Jazz days, and now he's out for 6 weeks. Thankfully, it's not a lower body injury to worry about. So once he does come back, he should be set. So I wouldn't be looking to cut him if you have room in the IL. Now, if you're like me, you already have 2 guys on the IL, 2 guys injured, and you're trying to stream. It's a different story, and you may need to cut him just to stay afloat. But I'm going to pass the ball here to Starks. Anything you want to add just with like the Celtic team, or just about his status or anything like that?
No, I'm not going to hold too much time on it. G. Hay being out this long, it's not too bad, to be honest with you, because I know I got a lot of questions in regards to like, oh man, Curry had the same injury, but like he's going to be out longer. Listeners, I'll say this: it's a little bit different. The situation in Golden State versus Boston is a little bit different, so you can't take it as it should be the same. And honestly, even though it's the same injury, doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% similar in that aspect. And people heal differently, right? Everybody has different body functions with their hands and their feet. Hands, shoulders, knees, and toes. Yeah, terrible. But you know where I'm coming with this, right? So everybody's going to get a nice bump up in Boston, right? And I know Marcus Smart is going to be one of the people, the main cogs to get the heavy minutes. But a player that, obviously Carson Edwards, but the player that I only care about at this time is the Time Lord himself, Grant Williams. So I just want to hope that he gets the opportunity there. And I know there was a player, I think we like to call him the Thesis, right? He was in and out of this game several times going to the locker room, but it looks like he's okay. But the thing is about, the Time Lord is to hear Brad Stevens, the gush about him, that is interesting to see. And if you're in a little bit of a deep league, redraft league or points league, he's somebody to consider. So I'll pass you the ball there, LT, with your thoughts on Gordon Hayward, brother.
Yeah, I want to steal their Starks. I apologize, LT. The Time Lord, I think you said Grant Williams, but you meant Robert Williams, right?
Oh, yeah. That's my bad. Thank you for the correction on that.
Well, super quick. Does Grant Williams get any sort of spike in usage?
Minimal, but yes, Robert Williams. It felt wrong. I almost said Grant Hill too. So yes, Robert Williams indeed.
Love it.
Classic, dude. LT.
Yeah, definitely not. Grant Williams, based on reports, could get more minutes, but should he? Probably not. But as far as I know, Starks was dancing around the fractured hand thing. But let's be honest, Curry was seen pretty much a couple days later doing a Halloween dress up and dancing in the streets. So let's be honest here. Let's call a spade a spade. He's not playing. He's not coming back because the team sucks, right? He probably could come back in 6 to 8 weeks and play, but he's not. So definitely, if you have an IL spot, definitely go ahead and keep GA on the other end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum, this is a Starks move. I hate to do this. This is a Game Shark cheat code. Look out for people who are in a tight spot who don't know whether or not to keep GA. If someone out there is like has to streaming trying to stay afloat and they drop them, they have no choice.
Yeah,
scoop them up, and then put them in your IL spot if you have the availability or the time to wait. Definitely look out for that. Keep an eye out for a lot of these injuries. There's a lot of injuries going on. 6 to 8 weeks, that weird time frame. That's 6 to 8 matches in a 9-cat category that can swing a season. So keep your eyes out for that. And for me, it's not even a question. Jaylen Brown, to me, is going to be the biggest beneficiary of this. I think most listeners and us have already seen him already explode the last couple of games. So I think that's going to be the biggest drawback. But I'm going to pass the rock back over. I don't understand what's happening.
I was thinking about call a spade a spade. Hey, man, that's true, man. But go ahead.
You're good, man. I'm going to pass the rock back to White Knight on that.
Classic. Really quick, I just want to echo what Stark's been saying. This Wanamaker guy, he got a little over 20 minutes, so I would definitely keep an eye on him in deep leagues for sure. Starks, that's a good call.
Thanks, man.
So next here on the news, another huge crushing injury. Chris Middleton's out for 3 to 4 contusion. Man, that is a crushing blow. I mean, I don't know how much more usage Giannis can handle with this. So somebody has to pick up the slack here. Man, there's so many mouths to feed.
Give me the ball. Give me the ball.
I wish you could see my face right now. Go ahead, though.
Give me the ball, please. I gotta steal the ball. You know what? I'm sorry, White Knight, but I wanted this moment.
No, you're good.
I wanted this moment for this one guy. You know who's going to get all that usage? It's Curious George.
Curious George.
No, but seriously, I will pass you. I'll pass you back the ball because I know you want some more points to get out there, White Knight. My apologies, man.
Oh, you're good. So I mean, like, I just want to say, like, there are so many mouths that could take over, but there's so many options that aren't that good. So, like, you're not really excited by the next man up, except for Curious George. Hey, man, he's been producing.
Stop it.
But the other guys that could take over, Wesley Matthews, Pat
Connaughton,
Connaughton, and and a deep league,
DiVincenzo.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, all these names, they could step up, but they're not exciting. So, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to pass the ball here to LT and see if you have any thoughts, any good thoughts over here.
Ooh, good luck with that bench.
I tell you what. I ain't gonna be curious about anything. I know that much. So what I am gonna say is that as a Greek freak owner, all you listeners out there that are Greek freak owners, this is music to your ears. I wish the best for Middleton. I really do. But the Greek Freak is going to have to put the Bucks on his back for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I say on his back, I mean Jan Sport. I mean all the book bags, knapsacks, everything. And so you can expect Greek Freak to go crazy. Usage rate, his turnovers are already high. So I mean, what does it matter? So just look out for that. I'm actually excited to see the next 4 weeks to see what he can do. Now, what they should do in Milwaukee is just throw a alphabet soup 2-man brother party out there. That's what they should do. They should throw the Nassus out there, but they're not, right? They're not going to do that. So who I think is actually going to get the time frame, and I hate to say this,
Ursan.
We might get an Ursanity coming back.
Yes, Ghostface, baby.
Ghostface. I hate to say it, but he is so solid. He's so solid. Yeah. He's a pro, right? He's been in the league for a while. He can actually be inserted in that starting lineup and actually get them wins still. I want to see who they start, who gets the minutes. I'm definitely going to be putting my sage eye on this next game. We already know about Dragan Bender. We already know about the Earth Bender here. So I'm gonna pass the rock over to Starks, man. Who did you have anyone else other than Curious George, man, that you were thinking about?
Oh man, the lights went out on me. This gets beautiful. Listen, I will talk to you guys in the dark. Hopefully you can see me enough. So let me say it like this. Let me say it like this, man. Let me get personal with you guys up front. I think Ghostface, when you say Ilyasova, it brings happiness, and it's warming to my heart, because Ghostface is like, Ilyasova is like, how is he still in the league, right? It almost seems like he keeps disappearing, and then he'll come out of nowhere and give you solid games. Right. But there was another guy I think I'm not going to care about, but it's a name that needs to be mentioned. I forgot his first name, but it's Brown. I don't remember his first name. Sterling. Yeah, Sterling Brown might get some minutes too. Just a name, but it's not a sexy name nor sexy stats behind him. But that's a name just to still keep in mind. But kind of like what Jacob had said in his Hooked on Finest guys, DiVincenzo is going to be a guy that may get some minutes. And honestly, Pat Connaughton, I really hope that they stop beating around the bush and just give him the time.
I agree.
But maybe they don't. And just like what LT said, Greek Freak, he's basically going to just have a knapsack and everything on his back, carrying that team on his back. And Bledsoe, honestly, has been doing a little bit better. So hopefully you would think that he's going to play a little bit more the Eric Bledsoe. I'm not saying like the Phoenix Sun days or the LA Clipper days, but maybe he can take some more responsibility and take some more usage. But, that's all I got for Milwaukee. It's going to be tough sledding. And obviously, being funny, Curious George, honestly, George Hill is going to probably get more minutes too. So yeah, I'll pass you the ball there, White Knight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we covered that up. Now our last bit of news, unless there's anything else we want to touch up on, is that Daniel House Jr. actually left the game here. He only played about 11 minutes. We can also talk about.
Yes, I'm back
after, but yeah. Let there be light.
There you go. Go ahead.
Daniel House Jr. He's not going to return. He has a back contusion. I mean, I assume that's going to be probably a 1 to 2 game absence, depending on how his back fares tomorrow. But that's a crushing blow, even if it's just a few games, just because a back problem is nothing to just sniff at. I mean, it's tough. So personally for me, really quick, I think this bodes well for Eric Gordon, even though, all he does is shoot threes, but he'll definitely get some minutes because Daniel House was taking a lot of minutes from him. So if you are a Gordon owner, I'm not sure why you would be. I am. Unfortunately, it's a super deep league, but it's like, hey, he'll get some more shot attempts. But I want to pass the ball to you, LT. What do you think is going to happen there if he's out for a few games or a few or more? Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah. We were just having a house party, guys, just the other night, and looks like the house party's over. Looks like someone came. Looks like the police came and crashed it right when we were having the most fun. So he didn't do too well before he went out too, but came down with that back contusion, and that's going to be a couple game absence, I think, or at least 2 to 4 for sure. Just like you said, White Knight. So the main thing is they're going to probably split the time frame for Danwell. You're probably going to see more Gordon. You'll probably see him inserted in the lineup. Austin Rivers and Ben McLemore.
That's right.
Ben McLemore. Unfortunately, as you see, got some extra added run tonight. He is going to probably get the most added minutes because all these other guys were playing, right? They were in the rotation, Rivers and Gordon, but the guy that's really showing out, it's probably going to be McLemore. So that's it. If you have House, it's definitely a hold. You don't do anything drastic right now, and you wait for him to come back. Now, if he comes back from this injury and he's a little, the sage eye looks at it and he looks a little weird, I'll let you know. But I will pass this over to Starks to see what he thinks.
No, I think you guys pretty much touched up on it. I was just going to say what's kind of crazy is it's almost like we have to put a premium on the house party now. We have to be patient with it because what he's been doing this year is nothing to take lightly. You know what I mean? So he's been doing well in that aspect as a top 45, 50-ish player. And we're recording while games are going on. I was able to see one report, OG Anunoby's headed to the locker room, but it's his face. So hopefully it shouldn't be anything too bad, right? But who is that, Jacob, if you can help me on this, because I can't pull up my stats. Who was that guy I was hoping that Houston would utilize that guard, but they just didn't give him the time? And I tried
to... Chris Clemens.
Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, that's just a big reach in the cookie jar, thinking you can pull out a cookie, but you're going to pull out a crumb, right? So if you're able to somehow... I'm not going to say try to grab him because it's not going to happen, but what you can look at is see if House is out for an extended amount of time, see if Clemens somehow finds a way on the court from the rotation in minutes, and maybe that can progress on. But, McLemore is going to probably get more time. But honestly, what Jacob had said, Eric Gordon, he's going to do Eric Gordon things. He's going to take a lot of 3-point shots. He's not going to give you any steals or anything. So hopefully he's giving you points. And, that's all I got there, brother.
Right. Absolutely. Actually, it said that McLemore started the second half. Who knows if that was just like we're in a bind. We go on Ben. We Ben off the bench.
Well, I think if Gerald Green, if Gerald Green was healthy, he would probably be
he would get there.
He'd probably be the obvious insertion there, but I think he's hurt. So
out for the year, I think, man. Unfortunately. Yeah,
man.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Wow. Woo.
Yeah. Something happened. I'm not sure, but he's out. So that's going to be a situation definitely to monitor. Like Stark said, see who gets those minutes. So the last bit of news now that we want to go over is Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka is down and out. I mean, they're still giving updates before every game saying that he's out, but he's definitely going to be out for a week plus, in my opinion, with a very bad ankle sprain. I mean, that to me means that it was almost broken. It was like right there. So, I mean, he'll probably be out a week or two at the least. So there is a lot of minutes to go around. At least he was averaging, I assume, probably around 20 to 25. So I'm going to pass the ball to you there, Starks. Who do you like as a shallow league pickup and a deep league pickup?
Okay, so in a deep league pickup, it's my guy there, my boy, Chris. I like to call him Bobby Boucher, Chris Boucher. So if he gets and he played well the last game, to be fair as well. He was always a guy that I've spoke up in a Dynasty format because I specialize in deep Dynasty formats. What my job is to do is to help the listeners, or you guys in particular, to reach out and see who the next player can formulate. And as they can formulate, they can change the game for you and your season. Now, let me go on the ISO rant here. Now, this is going off topic, but I think this is important to say. You remember we were talking about Kendrick Nunn, that ship is starting to kind of fade away, and it's potential that he could disappear. Now, although I talked about him, you guys know I was basically juicing the orange up hard on him, all through the season. But I also said, be careful because it could be a Jeremy Lin Linsanity type of thing. And I'm not saying that is the case, but he's a potential player that could start fading that way and just kind of fade away because the guards there in Miami are just too good, right? Or they're really good and Jimmy Butler's back. But to get back on the Toronto side, now, and I know that's going to be, there might be controversy for me to say like Nunn could be a potential drop. He could be in a shallow league, but we'll talk about that. I'll talk a little bit more and expand on the clutch shot. But anyways, getting back onto the topic at hand here, Chris Bouchard, per his 36 numbers, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this dude is a monster. And honestly, if you put him starting in front of Gasol right now, I believe he would be the better big man right now.
Yeah.
If they started him. Seriously, like if he got 25 plus minutes a game over Gasol, I think it's a no-brainer that he's going to be a monster. And that's the thing is it's a big if. And I know that might be an aggressive approach, but that's the type of coach I am, when it comes to certain formats that I'm going to be willing to, in a deep format, to grab him. And honestly, in one of our leagues that it's a deep redraft league, I was able to pick him up, I think before this report came out a little while ago on Serge Ibaka. And one of the questions, I know I'm going on super ISO rate. One of the questions that I got to was tough. He was like, Starks, do I take, almost called him Grant Williams again, Robert Williams, or do I take Chris Bouchard? So the Time Lord or Chris Bouchard? I said, man, that is so tough right now. And I said, it's really a coin flip. But what I said to him is like, the only reason why I'm going to probably go with the Time Lord is because Brad Stevens is gushing over him a little bit. But I'm going to basically change my mind the next day and probably say Chris Bouchard because I'm just so close with that. But as far as Toronto goes, I think he's the beneficiary, as LT would say, and Jacob, logic as well, that he's going to be the man that's going to get the nice minutes from the bench. LT, what's your thoughts there, brother?
Yeah, we kind of have a little sneak peek already on what's going to happen, right? Because yesterday they did play Sunday night, and your boy Bouchard, hooked on phonics, he killed it, man. He killed it.
Yeah.
When you first mentioned him, I was like, man, Starks is crazy, man. Where is he getting these Game Shark cheat codes? My sage eye hasn't touched up on him, but I took a look at him earlier today, and man, he looked good out there. Like you stated before, probably if you were to put him up against Marc Gasol on a per minute basis, he probably would outperform. And so I'm not going to take your pick because that's Chris Bouchard is yours, and I'm going to speak to my 9-cat guys out here to keep an eye out for an old faithful, old reliable, old guy here. Rondae Hollis Jefferson. Yes. He is coming. He is the covert ops style type of guy. He is going to Jay Crowder as well. He's coming from those type of mindset and thoughts on the player. He's going to get you some decent rebounds some nights. It's going to get you if he gets the minutes now. And he's gonna get you some stock stats as well. That's what his big thing is. I think when he was on the Nets a couple seasons ago. But yeah, Rondae Hollis Jefferson looks like he's going to probably be inserted. And he's going to play more, especially if OG's out. You can expect Rondae to get a lot more minutes. So keep your eyes out if there's any issues there. But that's all I got. What do you think, White Knight?
Yeah. So I'm going to settle this right now. And actually, your nickname for him is accurate because how you pronounce it is Boucher.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Yep. Boo-Shay, they say. So
sweet.
Bougie.
Yeah. Thanks. We're gonna have it. So we're gonna have a segment on a Hooked on Phonics segment on names. That's gonna be a fun podcast to do.
Yeah. I think we need like a teaching lesson.
Yeah, we do.
All these names that like we're always getting wrong, and just like spell it out for everyone, including me.
Including me, and the listeners are very mad at us when we get these wrong.
with with good reason.
Right.
I know
Right.
it's not. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. It's going to be the Boucher. It's going to be the Boucher show, but it's also the Norman Powell show. I already touched up on this in my waiver wire article, and actually he was a stream for me last week too, because in the limited minutes that he's getting in this tight rotation, he was producing low end stats, and now he's getting more minutes. And so inevitably that's going to go up. So he's definitely, to me, he's going to be the main beneficiary because he's actually starting. He's getting those minutes next to those guys. And then Boucher is going to come in. Hopefully he can show out and he can just take over for old man Marc Gasol for sure, like Starks was saying. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, that's what I got to say about that situation for sure. So it's going to be Powell. It's going to be Boucher, and Hollis Jefferson's going to get some minutes for sure. But I don't think enough for shallow leagues, but for deep leagues, I mean, absolutely, because he can get you those low key rebounds and steals for a forward for sure. But yeah, so that is all the news we have for our listeners today, Starks. I'm going to pass you the ball. What would you like to talk about next?
Yeah, if we can sift through the games. And before we do that, I was just going to say on top of that, Jacob, I think because of Norman Powell's also getting those minutes because of Lowry being out as well, getting them starting minutes, that helps them. But yeah, let's go ahead and transition to the games. If we can go through these games pretty quick here, we definitely expanded on the injuries, which was very good content, gentlemen. Thank you for, with that. So if you want to actually, LT, if you want to bring the ball up court, actually we're recording while games are going on. Looks like OG won't return back Monday on his face. So we're going to still look for reports to come out on that. But LT, if you want to bring the fast paced offense on these games here, brother.
I definitely can. So we're going to touch up on this Houston-New Orleans game first, since we were talking about a couple of injuries that were in this game. I'll pass the ball over to White Knight. What do you see in this game, brother? Did you see anything you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so really quick, we were saying who's going to get all those shots. Well, it's going to be a mixture of Drew Holiday and JJ Redick, it looks like. And then Etuan Moore made a cameo appearance. So I mean, that is a name to keep in mind in a deep league. And then on the Rockets side, as we were talking about, I mean, like Eric Gordon and McLemore. So I mean, that's all. That's and then it's business as usual with Harden and Westbrook. And Capella getting 20 boards. I mean, that is beautiful. So expect more of the same out of the Rockets. And then I mean, that's what I got to say about that. Starks, do you have any more thoughts about any players on these games, or do you want to move on?
No, ready to move on unless LT wants to touch up on anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do my kind of just my ceremonial Harden spat. 38 minutes, 38 minutes, 20. He actually was official tonight. Go figure. 11 3 attempts. Come on now. Are you kidding me? 14 free throw attempts. Only made 10. I guess that's an off night, I guess, for him. 4 rebounds. 9. Is he actually passing the ball? I would like to see proof. I would like to actually see proof that he's passing the ball. 9 assists, 6 turnovers, 2 steals, 1 block. 39 points in a win.
Yeah.
He's good.
I think I'm gonna steal the ball real quick. I'm gonna be honest with you. I found my weakness in fantasy points leagues. Jacob, I'm gonna need your help on that, man. But I'll say this, LT, it looks like we're playing each other in points league, so you feel this Harden. You feel that Harden points game. Yeah, so I will pass you back the ball. I will pass you back the ball in the next game, brother.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm actually going ahead to switch over to the fast-paced Memphis Grizzlies and the slow-paced San Antonio Spurs game over here. I'm actually going to do a quick ISO because my man Triple J coming out the play. Let's go. This is making me smile from, that's right, listeners, ear to ear. I got 10 for 17. 4 snipes. That's what I want. That's my main thing. I wanted to see him improve on this year, and he hit 4 of them tonight for me. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 24 points. This is the Triple J that I wanted to see at the beginning of the year. And with the Ingram injury, right? Maybe I did make the right choice, you know? Maybe,
hey, you're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Maybe I did make the right choice, depending on how bad this Ingram injury is. Maybe I did dodge one. So I'm super excited for that. I'm going to actually pass the rock over to Start. Do you have anything to say to the listener of Dillon Brooks after his game tonight?
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
I couldn't actually see it. Can you give me a quick?
Of course. He had 21 points on 8 for 17 shots, 6 free throws, made 4 of them, 1 snipe, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals as well in that game.
Listen, Dillon Brooks he's cool, okay, but Draymond Green, and it's just only to that listener who's like, oh man, I'm taking Dillon Brooks over Draymond Green. I'm like, that's fine, man. If you want to do that, all we do is just give you suggestions. So if you ask me, don't get mad if I give you an answer that doesn't feel good to you, but I do actually like Dillon Brooks. To be fair, I just look at it as if you're in a win now situation, it's still Draymond Green in a 2-year span. And Draymond Green, from my understanding, is going to get the head nod to start. But Dillon Brooks, that is a good game. Definitely a solid game off of a couple of cold games he had. And Tyus Jones, did he get any minutes tonight?
23.
So he's a name just to keep in mind because Ja Morant, he's been having a little bit of rest games already, I think. So that's just a name to just keep in mind in basically in a very shallow, or not shallowly, but a deeper league per se. But that's all I got for Memphis. But yeah, real quick, Triple J, that's good for you, LT. Hopefully, we do hope that Brandon Ingram gets better. Yeah. But we're going to see definitely what happens. I'll pass you the ball there, White Knight. If there's any, I'll say this real quick on an ISO rant. I'm not touching up on the Spurs at all. So if you guys want to, go ahead, White Knight.
And I wanted to focus here on the Grizzlies as well. Jay Crowder was my number 1 streamer for the week because he's still criminally underowned, but he's always getting 30 minutes, and he got you 10 boards, 8 points, 4 assists, and 1 steal. I mean, guys, he needs to be owned in either league. I mean, like, he's providing those, especially in 9-cat. There are those who are better in 9-cat leagues than points leagues that you want on your team for sure. But Jay Crowder, a very efficient 3 for 5 for 10 boards and 8 points. And then Dillon Brooks, he had a dud game last game, so he was dropped by a ton of teams. If he was dropped in your league, pick him back up because he's in this fast-paced offense. He's young, and the Grizzlies love him. So there's no reason why he should be owned and started. Now, I do want to say it's really weird that the Grizzlies are already load managing Ja Morant as we saw last game, and I think it affected him this game. He was 2 for 12, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists with no stock stats to speak of. So I mean, that's really weird. I think they should stop doing that. I don't know if he's hurt or something, but that's just really weird to see. But I'm going to pass the ball back there to you, LT. I'll let you take the ball.
Yeah, no, a couple of things. I want to follow up on that. That's a good point, White Knight. You're going to see a couple of load management guys tonight having terrible games after their load management day. So that might be something we're going to have to keep track of and definitely take a look at. As you'll see, there's another player that also underperformed tonight after a load management day. But I will touch up real quick on the Spurs because there is Spurs players that played, right? They did play a game. One thing that you want to take a look at is Dej Loaf, or should I say Murray's Parmaid, did not have a good game. Only played 19 minutes.
Go figure.
And guess who got the minutes instead?
Oh, was it White? Was it Mr. Derek White?
Derek White got the minutes instead and performed.
Hot potato.
Hot potato. Performed with them. Had about almost 29 minutes, 15 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Hit all of his charities. So, like Stark said in the last podcast, that is one of those hot potato situations. You never know who's going to perform on any given night, and so it's definitely kind of a not bad situation. I still like Murray's pomade to come out on top on most nights in that, but this is one of those nights where if you needed him to perform, he didn't do it for you. So that's enough for the Spurs. I'll go ahead and switch it up to the game of the night, and that's Minnesota versus the Pistons. And this was a big game, fellas, because we had Minnesota, we have Towns, we have Wiggity. I can't call him whack anymore, right? Just Wiggity. And then we had Detroit at full capacity tonight. I'm gonna pass this over to White Knight. What did you see in the full on Detroit Pistons offense?
Oh, wait a minute, let me steal the ball real quick.
Go ahead.
Right now in the front court, as we're speaking, Siakam, Bobby Boucher, Gasol is on the court right now. I love it, but go ahead.
Nice. Right on. Yeah, so to go back to the Pistons, so the Blake show, as you said, was back and D Rose was back. So it's really good for all of you Luke Kennard owners to see that he still got 40 minutes here, and he put up 17 shots and made 4 threes, all of his free throws, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and 25 points. I mean, if any of you panicked or any of you were worried, it doesn't seem like there's anything to worry about. And I mean, I'll be honest, with Blake coming back and Rose coming back, I thought he was going to not completely go away, but I did not expect this game out of him. So that's good to see. But who went back into the shadows, which I thought he would. And I told all the listeners, look, he has an expiration date. That's Bruce Brown Jr. Unfortunately, with Rose back and Griffin back and Luke Kennard playing well, Bruce Brown Jr. was relegated back to the bench and barely got 14 minutes. So if you own him in a shallow league, just go ahead and cut bait and only add him back when Rose inevitably gets injured, but I don't want to wish that on him. I apologize, man.
Hey, listen, it's no problem, man. Right? Every rose, the rose was wilted, but looks like it got some water tonight, right? I know, right? So
he wasn't very. Okay, go ahead.
No. I was going to steal the ball. Anyway. So the Detroit Pistons, you gotta love what you saw. And Sage Eye, this is for all of our listeners out there. I have a feeling now that they're at full strength, the rotations are going to get a lot more tighter. Okay, these rotations are going to start. They're going to start just keeping these rotations in because they were highly competitive against a Minnesota team that is very good this year. And is at full strength right now with Wiggins going off, and they were competitive in this game. What I want to say is that Derrick Rose only had about 20 minutes tonight. That was planned, just coming off of his injury, everything. He was going to have limited minutes tonight. So Langston Galloway ended up getting a couple extra minutes picking up since everybody else, it seems like point guards are injured. And let's be honest, Tim Frazier sucks. So other than that, we're going to go into Derrick. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so Blake Griffin came back.
No, you wasn't.
And 6 for 12, 1 snipe. He actually hit a snipe tonight. 6 for 8, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Didn't give you any stock stats, but if you were holding Blake Griffin, this is a sight to behold. He did that only in about 24 minutes. Obviously planned as well. So again, he 19 points. He's a points league dandy, by the way. And so Luke Kennard, like White Knight spoke of, Derrick Rose, started actually. So just keep your eyes out as far as this rotation. I think the rotations are going to get very, very clamped and closed in, and some guys that were getting minutes earlier are going to start losing some of these minutes to these big wigs. What do you think, Starks?
No, I just appreciate you not juicing the orange on Derrick Rose too much on that one, man. Starting and everything.
I mean, he did get 2 steals, 1 block, 5 assists, but I mean, in limited time. But that's what, it's either there, here or not there. Yeah.
Go ahead, White Knight. I got nothing else for this. Okay. I'll say this. Actually, I do have just one thing. Christian Wood, it looks like he got no minutes, right? I'm just going to assume he didn't.
He did not.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'll give you, go ahead. And actually, it looks like we're recording while games are going on, of course. And I think I keep getting crazy reports on Bobby Boucher does it again. That's just a beautiful thing to hear. But no, I don't particularly have anything else to say. So White Knight, go ahead.
Yeah. So just to go to onto the Wolves side, I'm going to let LT talk about the big wigs here, but I want to bring up a deep league ad whom I had on my streamers list here, and that's Jake Layman. He's been getting a lot of minutes lately off the bench. And I know before the season started, the coaches really liked him and really wanted to get him some run. And it seems like they're keeping to their word, and he's getting a lot of minutes off the bench. Tonight, he had 33 minutes off the bench. I think that's a little bit of an outlier just because Jeff Teague was out and also Shabazz Napier was out. So there was a lot more minutes to go around. But he's looking at around 20 to 25 minutes, and he is efficient. He adds those steals, and he gets you some points. So I think he was owned in like 1% of Yahoo leagues, 1% of ESPN leagues, and maybe like 15% of Fantrax leagues. I mean, he is under-owned, and if you need a streamer, I believe the Wolves play 3 more times this week, so I would try to get him on the cheap, especially in deep leagues. He could be solid for you. Now, I'm going to pass the rock to LT and let him talk about some big wigs of the Wolves.
Yeah, man. If you're bald or if you're missing hair, get your wigs on, right? This is crazy. What he's been doing this year is absolutely insane, man. Like I'm showing our listeners his numbers right now, and I just don't understand. So just to give you some context, this guy used to be just a scorer, like one of those guys who just didn't give you any other stats, barely rebounded, only literally just shots and got your points, maybe some threes here and there. But one thing that's sticking out to me this year is that his free throw attempts seem to be going up, as well as his 3-pointers. He had hit 3 tonight, 3 3-pointers tonight, 12 for 20. He's no longer, if he can hit more of those threes, we're no longer going to lump him into that DeRozan category, right? Where he only can get 2s. And so he has 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and get you 2. He got you 1 steal and 1 block. That's not just a points league dandy. That is a 9-cat category dandy right there for 33 points. I have to say, fellas, and I know Starks is going to grimace.
Juice that orange.
I know Starks is going to grimace a little bit, but it's time to put your wigs on. It's time to put your wigs on and do a little dance, because if you pick them up, I know you got coupons on them this year, because we all feel,
you did,
especially when you're in those certain leagues like us. We've seen what he can do, and we're not impressed. But this year, he is proving us wrong, becoming definitely definitely a pivotal piece to the Minnesota being 6-4 right now. So I'm going to pass that rock over to Stark, see if he had anything he wanted to talk about with Wiggins or anybody.
No, I'll just say this in particular, that just looking at all this, I just keep seeing Treveon Graham starting, I think, and I'm just tired of it. I mean, he had a pretty good game, but just like what Jacob had said, they were talking about Layman. I mean, that's a guy, and he had him in his article as well. You got to still consider the players that are getting minutes, although it's not sexy and stuff of that nature. And I'm sorry, because the lights went out again. I do apologize, listeners, but I'll just say this, in particular, the Wiggins, this is very surprising for me this year. And honestly, just like what LT said, you cut a massive coupon, whatever league you drafted him in, unless you were just aggressively getting him, in a points league, right? But you shouldn't do that because you would have cut coupons with him. He's giving you back the nice value in any format right now. And honestly, if I think I would be, I'm sure that I would be confident that anybody that has Wiggins has probably been, or probably are pretty good in the ranks, especially with all these injuries that's going on right now in fantasy. So, is there any other games, or is that all it?
We had one more game, at Dallas Boston game.
So we'll just touch up on that. We'll get to the clutch shot.
Okay, perfect. All right. We're going to switch over to this Dallas Boston game. Boston beats Dallas 116-106. I'll pass the rock over to White Knight. Anything that sticks out to you on the Dallas or Boston side on this one?
Yeah, I just want to touch up on this outlier game that Porzingis displayed, man. He went 1 for 11 for 4 points, 1 block, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. Now he's coming off of that load management game. Another guy who struggled off that. So this is absolutely an outlier. And the Boston Celtics play pretty good defense with Thesis and Time Lord. And as well, Enes Kanter was back tonight. But just although he definitely doesn't help the defense situation, he kind of but yeah, I mean that is absolutely an outlier game. Look for him to bounce back in a huge way next game. And just wanted to bring up that Dwight Powell is back for his second game back and got 30 minutes and had a solid line. So that's nice to see. That's all I have on the Mavs side. And then on the Celtics side, they didn't even play Enes Kanter more than 5 minutes. I think the Celtics know that he has no defense whatsoever, and they try to prolong his knee injury because apparently he's been ready for a week now, but they just wanted to keep him down. So if you are a Kanter owner in a shallow league, I would go ahead and cut bait. If you are in a 10, 12 man league, I would hold on in a 14 plus, even that's pushing it. Just to see if his minutes creep up, but his defense and what Brad Stevens likes to do, he likes to play defense. So I just don't see him doing that. But before I pass the rock to Starks, just wanted to say, man, Jason Tatum, as much as he's pumping up the volume and doing great, he made one shot and shot the rock 18 times. Are you kidding me? I mean, he got you okay stats: 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 5 points. But 1 for 18, man. I'm going to pass you the rock on that, Starks.
Yeah. So let me actually before let me do a reverse, or actually a behind the back pass. But let me just actually take this ball real quick, because that is hilarious. Actually, I'm in the dark, but hey, I'm gonna just come into some small light out here in the snow. We're out here in Ohio. It doesn't even matter. But I'll just say it like this: in the cold weather, it must have been that cold for Jason Tatum, because that's how cold I am. And unfortunately, what did he shoot? 1 for 17? 1 for 18? What was that?
18. Ugh.
Oh, I'll pass you the ball. The LT. I want to take the ball here momentarily. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, man. This is premium content. I want our listeners to see what our guy Starks is going through, putting on the armor for you guys in the cold, in the snow, getting it done, and that is awesome. This is awesome content right now. I just want to watch him just move throughout the world. But I wanted to touch up on the thesis a little bit. 4 for 4, just effective. He is splitting. Again, you are getting that timeshare. I mean, this is the exact reason for a timeshare. 21 minutes for Thesis, 17 minutes for the Time Lord, and then you got Enes Kanter is going to be sticking his head in there about 5-6 minutes. He probably will have more as he ramps up. probably will get a little bit more time out there, especially in that second unit, to perform some offense for Boston. But like White Knight said, you got to think about the philosophy of a team as well. And so this team, Boston, is 8-1 right now, actually, doing better than we thought they were going to do, and actually, doing it through defense. So, that's how they're able to win these games where Jason Tatum shoots 1 for 18. So their defense. So they're going to keep players out there that's going to, kind of lend towards that. And again, I want to just mention real quick, Pringles, Porzingis. Listen, don't worry about it. It's one game. He came off that load management, probably wasn't in a good flow. He actually was in foul trouble tonight. So that probably lended itself to him, not doing so well as well, not being on the court only 20 minutes. So Kleber, the White Knights guy, Kleber Elves, he did good, Maxie. And my guy, Seth Curry, he also did pretty good, but I'm sorry, he didn't do good at all, but he still got 21 minutes and is starting at this present time with their injury. So keep an eye out for him, hopefully to have a bounce back game next game.
Nice. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was going to shoot over to you, Stark, if you had anything you wanted to say, or we want to go to the clutch shots.
Well, I'll just say a little bit more on Jason Tatum. If there was a buy low moment, obviously a wise GM wouldn't, sell him off a bad game. Players have bad games. It almost reminds me of a Harden game like a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? And as much as LT is the biggest fan of Harden, what's funny? Let me just go on this. No, there's no need for it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to the clutch shots. So, White Knight, I'll pass you the ball. And before I do that on the clutch shots, you guys, listeners, I do apologize to the listeners because of the quality on my side of things. That's my bad. So I apologize to you guys. But I love you guys. I appreciate that you guys still tune in. And we are getting a lot of listeners, so it's humbling and it's a blessing that you guys still enjoy the product that we put out. We want to improve our content. And then real quick, here's your commercial, right? So make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, pretty much any podcast format, right? You got our faces now on YouTube. My mask is off. I'm here. I'm ready. As LT, you can look at him in the corner. He's ready. The White Knight, you look at him above. He's ready. Although LT wants to put me at the bottom, that's fine. But that's going to change soon. And it probably won't change because he's the YouTube master. So you're subscribed to, I wish I could do it with both hands, but I'll do it one hand. Subscribe at the bottom, the ice Sub-Zero style at the bottom, right? Like the YouTube channel. It helps us to continue to grow. Also, join the member on newlifefantasy.com. Be a member, join the mailing list. I'm telling you guys, Jacob puts a lot of hard work in. He is pumping up the volume. If there's anything, he is pumping up the volume with a lot of great content with blogs. We don't just do fantasy basketball. We do football and baseball. And then, he's got the streaming articles, to be honest with you, that I had to use that. And it's funny. I'm going to humble myself here, right? I typically go by my own logic when it comes to fantasy. I'd be like, I'm just going to do it on my own. And I needed this help, right? And I definitely utilized Jacob's stuff. It's great stuff, and you guys should definitely use it. And it's just me being a competitive person, because I always think that I could do something better in my logic. But I'm humble enough to still accept defeat and also accept for help, because that's what it is about, because we are a family essentially, right? But the Monday and Tuesday back-to-backs is something that is really critical. Now, I was a clown and picked up Bruce Brown, right? But it's in a shallow league. But the thing is about that is, regardless, he's going to get you that Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, he laid a fat egg today. That's true. But Marcus Morris was another guy that I was able to, I think, to squeeze for that Monday and Tuesday. Of course, there are going to be drops right after that in the shallow league. But that's something that you guys got to take advantage of that, the streaming and the waiver wire articles that he's putting out. LT is putting the hard work behind this software. Look at us. It's 3 of us on this YouTube channel as well, that we're going to just be different and be universal in a whole different way. We'll share our faith. We love Christ here. And it may not be something that you guys are, interested in it. And I get it, but at least you're going to get the content and maybe things can change on your heart, right? So guys, look at that website. It's beautiful, right? So if you scroll down, LT, you can just join the mailing list at the bottom. As you scroll, you can just enter in your email at the bottom. And then at the same time, if you look at that footer at the bottom, you can see you can just click on that YouTube box. You can click on the Facebook box because we're available there too. And, our stuff and content is there. I'm going to make updates as time progresses on. And I know I had some complaints on some of the loading times. I do apologize, listeners. I'll get better with that. So I had to get that out. But I just want to say we love you guys. And it's very humbling that you guys still tune in. So I will pass you the ball there, Jacob, on a clutch shot there, brother.
Thank you, brother. I just want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for I'm honored that you would need my help because I've been looking for your help for a long time now. So I'm humbled and blessed, man. Thank you for that. So for my clutch shot, I just want to give a shout out to my alma mater, the Colorado Buffalo. They were ranked number 25, which is super rare.
Yeah.
They are never ranked. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but I mean, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to start off like that. And for all of you listeners out there who want more content on who's going to be like the up and coming studs of college basketball, I'm going to be watching a lot more this year. I'm going to be watching a lot of Pac-12 because that's where the Colorado Buffaloes they play. But I'm also going to be looking at the highlights around the country. I'm going to be looking out for those stars and stuff to get you guys some content here because I know that some players do early rookie drafts, like Stark was saying. So, I mean, I definitely want to be as knowledgeable as possible so that you guys can get the best bang for your buck as far as the college basketball players go. So, yeah, I mean, that's my clutch shot. Let's go Buffs. I'm going to pass the ball to LT there.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I'm actually my clutch shot tonight is actually going to be to you listeners. I've been lucky enough to come into the game a little late this year, but you guys have welcomed me, and I do appreciate that. We're getting listener questions. My Twitter's, I'm seeing these Twitter questions coming in, and you guys are really appreciating the work we're trying to put in for you guys. So, and also wanted to just let you know I am kind of the one kind of looking at that YouTube channel. So please subscribe. As well as comment. Go ahead and put comments in if you have something that you feel like questions you want to ask through YouTube comments as well. You can do that. You don't have to go to Twitter. I can filter that through YouTube as well. And also, just wanted to put it out there for all of our listeners that made it to this point. I would love to start live streaming these so that we can take live take live questions and on air while we're doing this to really give you guys exactly what you need on point as quick as possible. So if there's a platform you guys specifically want us to live stream to, let me know. Let us know so I can make sure I can get that going. I'm continuing to work on the looks of our stream as well, making sure that gets taken care of. And we're going to bring Starks back here. And so, yeah, I'm continuing to make it look as best as I can. Eventually, this is going to look completely different. It's going to look completely seamless. So thank you so much for watching us in this state right now as we start and go on this journey together. So that's my clutch shot. I'm going to switch it over to Starks for the final.
Ooh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Well, man, that was super clutch to get back on while you were doing that. I missed some of the stuff you said. Okay. I will take I will take a clutch shot. And the clutch shot is, thank you. As LT touched about the listeners, thank you, Jacob. Thank you. I also want to juice the orange on LT as well because he's put in the work. Yeah. And it's humbling because, I'm going to juice this orange. The thing is, there's going to be some gushy and juice moments, but I think it's important because, again, just to the listeners, we do this because we enjoy it. And we, as Jacob said, we love you guys. We want to help you guys out to get that advantage in your league. And we just have a different style. It may not be preference on, certain other people's styles, but it's a different dynamic. But juicing this orange here, LT is he's the originator behind a lot of this. And I just want to preface that's important because fantasy basketball, to make sure, although he came into the game a little bit later, as far as like us joining in particular doing this, he was always the guy from the beginning. So this, honestly, like I said, I've been kind of like the guy, although I may have got the notice right now, he's the main guy that's got it started for me. So you got to give him respect for what he's doing. He's a legend, and he's still getting better as his day. And honestly, to even win in the points leagues, I'll be honest with you, Jacob was an undefeated champion in one of his leagues in points league. So obviously it's too early in the season. There's a lot to go left. Am I cutting out or am I still good?
You're good.
No.
Yeah. You're good. You said something about me being a legend. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I'll say this. I'm hoping that one of us can face each other in the championship in one of these leagues, and that will be always fun to see, and me on top. But so with that said, you guys can find me on my Twitter handle. It's @Starks_industry. You can also find me on Instagram, OneClosingHero. I will pass you the ball there, Jacob. Where can I find you at?
Yes, sir. You can find me on Twitter @Ain'tDoneYet, and done is spelled DUNNE. I'm going to pass the ball there to you, LT.
Yeah, I'm going to make Twitter my home for our league here. So just reach me on Sage Network X on Twitter for any questions or anything related to the podcast, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Lastly, I'm sorry. That's what it was I was trying to say. Juicing that orange again. That first year, since you guys listened to me last year, that first year, just to reiterate, he is the main guy. LT is the main guy to put me over the edge. And what I mean by that is I started out as a rookie. I had an undefeated season, and then I lost in the playoffs. It wasn't by him, but guess who won? He won that year, that first year that I joined. And that pushed me to work as hard as I can to get better in craft. So you got to respect the Sage. You got to respect the hard work of Jacob, what he's also doing as well. Jacob is a solid, not only just a rider, but I consider him a legitimate opponent as well. Listen, the thing about me is, just to share, is I think it's important that you help one another and not try to get over on somebody. So I know where I'm going with that. So I just love you guys. I love you listeners, and let's continue to put this craft out. And so with that being said, have a good morning, afternoon. Take a ride.